Well, hello. Good evening. JD, Al, Allie, Dustin, Dean. How's everybody doing this evening on this warm, muggy Tuesday evening? So warm here in Ohio, all the schools are closing early, sending the kids home. They don't know how to deal with warm weather. They say a lot of the school buildings don't have air conditioning, and it's just too hot for the youngsters. I don't know how we ever made it when we were young. And I will also have to say I don't remember going to school quite this early. However, we have warm days in September, so still feeding the critters. Well, hi, Carrie. And Duncan 1900 Homestead, good evening to you. We're just talking about the wonderful muggy heat. We were in Columbus today. We had to take our oldest grandson to some classes at Ohio State. And I was listening to the local radio down there. And all the Columbus public schools are closed today. They're closing early tomorrow, even though it's only supposed to be 86 or 88 or something tomorrow. But they've already announced that they're letting them out at noon or 1 o'clock or something. Just absolutely crazy. Grandma Rose, good evening. So, wanted to talk a little bit tonight about thumbnails. I don't know why, but it seems like the thumbnails have been a hot topic here as of late with a lot of folks. They seem to think they have to go get some special program to make their thumbnails. Well, I'm here to tell you that if you have invested in Filmora, you have a thumbnail maker that will rival any thumbnail maker out there. And it's very, very easy. A lot of people maybe are not aware of it or what it'll do. So we're going to show you a little bit. Before we go off into the thumbnail tangent here, has anybody had any problems this week wanting to learn how to do something? And you're going to have to forgive me. I'm looking at the chat now, which means I'm not looking at you folks, but we have our youngest grandson here, and Sherry is with him to keep him a little bit quiet so that we can do the show here tonight. And June just created one on Filmora. Absolutely. Grandma Rose, that's... I don't know what to think. I really don't know what to think. I don't know if this is all part of this millennium age group, but I think it's absolutely ludicrous that they close the schools down. I mean, okay, it can be a little bit unseasonably warm, and I understand you get a lot of people in a building, and that heats it up a little more. But hey, suck it up a little bit. You know, I'm sure everybody in the room here either has or has heard or knows somebody that had to walk 5 miles to school barefooted uphill both ways, whether it was a blizzard condition or some sort of a desert. We've all done it. Used a snapshot and the lower thirds thingy. June, that's exactly what you can do. But there's some fancier stuff you can do, and we're going to try to show you a little bit of that. As I mentioned, I've popped in on some other streams, some different advice topic streams where, you know, they're telling you, well, you got to go get this thumbnail editor, and you got to do this, and you got to do that, and realistically, you know, a lot of people, they simply upload a video, and YouTube tries to create 3 different thumbnails, and without doing something yourself, then you have your choice between those 3. But you can also upload a thumbnail. And you don't have to have some sort of photo editor, though it helps. Without question, a photo editor is a good tool to have, and everybody that has Windows has some sort of a photo editor where you can create some custom background things or background colors that you can do for your thumbnail. But let's stop talking. Let me I already have Filmora open, so let me bring it up here on the screen for you. All right. Just watching my microphone here, and can everybody hear me okay? It almost looks like I'm pulling some extra noise or something. So if the okay, Lone Star, I understand. I totally agree with you. I think they just have things a little bit too easy, but I don't want to go down this political road where the I don't know. I know this news radio that I was listening to today. I listened over 2 hours. They never got off the subject of sending the kids home early, that they shouldn't start school before in September. Well, I don't necessarily have a disagreement with that. But my word, it's absolutely crazy. They drag it out and drag it out. They obviously have nothing better to talk about. And none of it's necessary. Total waste of time. Blissful Acres Off-Grid Homestead. Thumbnail is not the little round picture. Your thumbnails, and let me just do this so everybody is on the same page. I'll just bring this up. All the pictures you see on this page are in essence thumbnails from a YouTube standpoint. When you go into YouTube, every one of these little pictures that you can click on to see the video is a thumbnail. And I open this up without signing in, so there's, you know, you can get a broad variety of different thumbnails here. So let's talk about the thumbnail just for a moment. Thumbnail, in essence, is the first impression somebody is going to get of your video to try to entice them to click on your video. So it's important to have, I'm going to say, somewhat of a decent thumbnail. It's not so important that you have to spend hours and hours and hours on a thumbnail. It should be, if you have verbiage on the thumbnail, it should be readable. You should, I don't know how you're going to necessarily get something to stand out when you look at an entire page of thumbnails like this. And then it's different for different people. Now, just for example, under this subject of hip-hop music, there's 6 thumbnails scrolled across this line. There is only 2 of those that even have text on them. I'm numbering from left to right. Number 4 says "If You Want Love," and number 6 says "Nonstop." The rest of these are just simply pictures. So if the picture entices you to click on it, so be it. Now, let's go up to, apparently it picked up music as a topic here without question. It's going up. Basketball topic. I don't recognize any of these. I don't watch any of these channels, but again, that's not the point here. The point is, what are the thumbnails and what can you do? And as I mentioned before, that's your first mode of engaging a prospective audience to view your video. Some people go to extremes. They'll use that terrible 3-letter word in their thumbnail with sex, where they think that if they have an attractive individual portrayed, that this will entice people to click on it. In some cases that works, in some cases that turns people off. Just looking at this particular channel called Brightside, they have some interesting thumbnails. No text. Here they're showing a before and after. They have some weird images here. Here's I don't know, some sort of, I don't know if that's a poached egg or what that is. But the idea here is to engage that prospective viewer. So let's go back into this, and just for purposes of discussion, this is a 20-second intro that I put together for the Monday Night Live show. And because I know what's on it, I can go ahead and have it so you guys can hear it. So let me turn that on. So here's 20 seconds of an intro. And it has no sound. I guess I should have warned you. There is no sound. And the reason there's no sound is because I plan on using this with various Monday Night Live shows. So it's a very, very short clip that I can add in the front. I can then add music later as I'm putting the promo together. But I have a background, and at any place I can stop this. So let's stop it right there. Monday Night Live, hosted by Two Family Homestead. So you can see this is a video. But where I stopped it right here, if I just simply go down under the preview window, there's a little camera here And it's right where the circles are. This is on the right-hand side underneath the preview window. If you click on that, you will take a snapshot of the screen. So I'll do that. And here is that image. So I'll bring that image down here. And I will expand it out. By default, it's a 5-second image. Just to make it easier to work with here tonight, I'm going to make it a 10-second image, so I'm going to double the length of it. But it's just an image. And as you can see, if I don't have it in the primary timeline, I can resize this. I can do anything I want to do with it. It's now much smaller. And I can place it anywhere I want to on the screen. So let's take that a step further. Let's add a picture of Smudge in here. So I'll just put Smudge underneath it, and I'll go ahead and increase him to 10 seconds as well. And I'm going to where do I want to put him? I guess we'll put him up here. No, we'll leave him down here because we'll put the microphone with him. So we'll make this a little bigger. Okay. But now let's suppose that I want a different background. We'll increase that to the 10 seconds. And I will move my added things underneath it. Now, if you notice here, I have a screenshot of that 20-second clip that I've simply placed on the screen here. I can resize it, but I've put it on a purple background. Smudge happens to be a PNG file, and the background on the Smudge photo is transparent. If it were not transparent, I could use a green screen. And we can do that, and just to see how it looks on this clip picture that I have embedded on here. So let's do that, just to see what it looks like. And we'll make black the disappearing color. We'll say OK. So I now have what started out with a black background and now has a purple background. Let me move Smudge a little bit out of the way. We'll put him up in this corner. But let's go a step further. I want to add some text. I want to tell people something about the video. So all I have to do is go into the text credit area, and let's, of course, if you have had this, I'm sure you've seen all types of different texts in here. I think June said she used lower thirds. There's a lot of those you can use. There's a lot. Whenever I'm adding text to something to make a thumbnail, I try to go for the text to start with in here where there is no background, there is no images. They generally fall into this category. And I'll scroll down to, let's see what this one is. It's just very, very plain Jane. So I'll put that in here. Stretch it out for the 10 seconds. Now I want to edit it. So I'm in the advanced edit. The first words here, we're going to replace that with okay, so I've used pretty plain text. I can make it bold, make it stand out just a little bit more. I can line it up to where I'm comfortable with it. Simply say, okay. So now I've designed something that I want to have displayed as my thumbnail. So at this point, I take another picture. Let me go back into the media area so it comes back into this. Take a picture. And we now have an image that we can directly upload to YouTube to attach this to the particular video that we're wanting to change. So that everybody kind of get a little bit of an idea what you can do with this. You can continue to add more. You can add shapes. You can change the color. You can, let's just throw a filter on it here. We'll put some fire in the background. And I think you get the idea here that you can make it pretty darn fancy. If you want to change one of your videos, of course you get into YouTube. And go into Creator Studio. And I'm just going to jump on this little short video that Sherry did for to kind of tease Patty Alderman a little bit. So let me edit that one. Now, if you notice, YouTube picked out 3 different scenes out of this picture, or out of this video rather, and so without doing anything, she could pick any one of these 3 images as a thumbnail. We could take a blank sheet of paper and put a title on it. Once you create that thumbnail, you go custom thumbnail. It'll ask you, to upload a file to be the thumbnail, and that will become the thumbnail of your picture. Filmora, all their thumbnails, provided you have installed it with the default settings. You go into Document, Wondershare Filmora, User Source, Snapshot. And the very end of this is where the last ones you just took are. Now I could take a lot of these out, but this is the one that we just created. And that's what it looks like. It is the perfect size. It goes well with YouTube. It works fine. It's quick and easy to do. And you don't have to go buy a program or go out to get some other shareware program or create it online and fight with this and that. If you've got Filmora, you have it. Now, if you have a video that you want a thumbnail from an image or from a scene that's in the video, what you can do is, and let's say you don't have the video anymore. The only place it exists is on YouTube. And believe me, a lot of people are in that boat. So let's assume that all you have is the video that exists on YouTube, and you want to grab an image out of that. You could do a screen capture, but a much better way is to download your video. Obviously, you can't do this with somebody else's. There are other methods to do this, but if you download the video, you can then play that video in Filmora, take snapshots any place within that video, add text, title, add a background, add other images, blend things together, so I apologize, I get carried away talking sometimes, so let me go over here and look at the chat. All me scroll back up to chat a little bit. June, that's one of the nice things. When I make a video, I keep it here so you can always go back and look at it, skip through it, leave comments. All right, let's if you want to start from scratch with a thumbnail, there's a sample color board built into Filmora. You can use any of these. So let's just use this red. Just again, we're just doing this as an example. And now I want to what I want to do. Get this all the way to the bottom. Okay. There we go. That looks pretty good. So now we'll go into the text credit area. Some of these text credit files have a small movie attached to them, or a small MP4. That it will actually put something in the top line here. And let's use this one for example. Nope, that one doesn't have. So we'll take it back out. Take that back out. All right, almost all of these do. So we'll bring this one down. If you notice, this has a white background attached to the wording. So when this one plays, this is what you get. So let's take the actual text part of this. We're going to slide it off to the side. I'm going to go back into this part here, which is this color. We'll just take that and we'll just delete it. So now I still have this part. So let's see if we can add that to these two colors that I put in. I'll slide it over here. And let's, we're in advanced edit. The components in here, you have the three colors in the background. That's just top line. That's not editable. You can't do anything with it. You can remove it if you want. All the text portions of this, there's three different text boxes. Your headline here. And those are all configurable. So in this top one, we'll go My Movie. Created by me. Okay, so I've just put this in, but I'm going to edit these. So for the My Movie, for the color, I'm going to make it, rather than just a solid color, I'm going to make it a graduated color, with the first color being a orange to a light blue. And I'm going to increase the size. I can do that either by coming up here and increase the font size, or within limits, you can just drag it out and make it a little bit bigger. We'll go to the next line, created by. This one I'll leave a solid color. I'll make it the orange, but I want to put a border around it, so I'm going to make that border bright green. And this one we're going to slide over this way. We're going to increase the size a little bit. And for this one, we're also going to put a border on it. We're going to make the border on this one white. Increase the size of the border slightly. Okay, but I don't like this type, and this happens to be New Wave. So let's find something else we like. Well, that looks pretty. That looks interesting. Okay, but that text is obviously bigger. We'll just kind of resize this a little bit, get it all put together in here. But that makes it pretty busy with those other colors in the background there. So let's just, I highlighted that. We'll just delete it. And we'll say OK. So now if I take a picture of this, I have a thumbnail that I just created out of thin air that has my verbiage on it and can be attached to any video that I would like to have it attached. If you wanted to set up a template, you can certainly do that from the text style, or from the text that you use to start with. You can save it as a preset. And just for example, that will fall into your custom area. These are some that I have set as a preset for various reasons, either other shows or whatever. And this is one that I commonly use. I generally leave the two-family homestead just as is. but I can put something short, sweet, and simple up here, size it to fit whatever the background or occasion is, and just go with it. So this is my template that I frequently use. This is another template that I frequently use. I'm sure you've seen this at the end of a number of our videos, but I usually make some slight modifications. If you notice, this has this little square background here, but I can take that out. Now I just have the verbiage. If I need to change the color, I can highlight whatever I want here and I can change the color. We'll put a border on it. We'll give it a shadow. So you can save these as presets if you want. This one, I remember this was from last year. The reason that I saved this is this was all black text that I had done for a specific video, and I just saved it as a preset in case I wanted to come back and do this again. So I hope that gives you some ideas. All right, Rusty, good to see you in here. Excuse me, Andy's Backyard and Shop. Who else did I miss coming in? Moose Knuckle Outdoors. Good evening. Glad to see you in here, my friend. Blissful Acres Off-Grid Homestead. Yes, by all means. Yes, you can make a video banner for YouTube. There's some, because of the nature of the banner being a very wide picture that's not high, Filmora is maybe not the best program to use to do that, but you can. You have to work around its limitations. Unfortunately, with YouTube, you can upload. If you don't like it, you can upload something else. So typically, though, if I were going to make a banner, I would go to a photo editing program of some sort. Okay, so we've got a background here, two plain colors overlapping one another. Let's put an overlay on here. Now, this is one of the limitations that you will get. The red background is on, I'm going to call that the A line. That's the primary editing line. So when you start using overlays, elements, filters, those all affect that primary. The purple inset here is a picture-in-picture. Because it's further down the list, it is the predominant visual source. And because that is further down than either the red background or the overlay that I put on here, it stands on top. And there's just not a whole lot I can do about that. There isn't anything I can do about it. This is one of the limiting factors. But we can still customize this. Let's go to the advanced edit and let's put a mask on it. So at this point, even though it's still in the background, we now have a different color star in the middle. And this is what I'm trying to entice your thoughts to go a step further with the program and see what you can do with it. Because it's really almost endless. We'll go back to my my template here. So this one we'll just say let's change that font. And here is a little bit of a shortcut. If you just click the down arrow on your font, let me back up real quick. Filmora uses whatever font you have on your computer. So you can always add to those by putting freely downloadable TrueType fonts. By installing those in your computer, you can have a virtual endless supply of different font styles that you can use. But if you want to see what they look like, just hit the down arrow and then scroll up or down using your arrow keys to see what it looks like very quickly. Unless you know the name. I always like things that are easy to read. I'm going to go with this one. It's Bodini MT Cursive. Click on it. Let me do a little resizing here. We'll say OK there. And I want to go one more. So let me just quickly see if I have it here someplace. Run the font out here, and I like that right there. I can take a picture of this and upload it as a thumbnail. Which is best, thumbnail or video title at the beginning of actual video? Let me see. Let me try to understand what you're asking. Which is best, thumbnail or video title at the beginning of the actual video? I'm going to say that's very much a personal preference as to what you might like to do, and there's an awful lot of very popular YouTubers that do not have any type of title within the video. They just jump right into it. They save the title for the thumbnail only, and it never appears. A lot of times the actual picture that they use never appears in the video. Food Forest Permaculture. Good evening. Jim Beer. Well, thank you. Hit that thumbs up. We appreciate it very much. And Country Girl's in here. Small Town Southern Housewife. Thank you for stopping. And I apologize. Sherry's not helping me out tonight because she's watching our youngest grandson, and he's all 2 years old, and he's a handful. So I'm trying, and that's the reason when I'm looking over here, I'm looking at the chat. If I'm looking at Filmora, this is where I look at Filmora, this is where I look at the chat, this is where I look at what's being broadcast. So, okay. Getting back to what somebody asked here. Which is best, thumbnail or video title at the beginning of the actual video? All right, Blissful Acres. I'm going to say it depends on the content of your video. That's my take on it, because I'm assuming that you're carrying this one step further where you actually have this title within the beginning of your video. So you've created a thumbnail, you've lettered it appropriately if you desire, or whatever picture you want. It's very, very easy. And let me do this. My mouse back over here. This is another one of my very short opening clips. All right, I'm going to stop it right here, and I'm going to do what's called a freeze frame. And that's it's a right click on the file, Just click freeze frame. And that creates a snapshot. And it inserts it right in where you did this. So your video then plays to that, is frozen for 5 seconds by default, and then starts up again. But you can take this snapshot in time and relocate it. You highlight just the snapshot, take it and move it where you want. We'll put it at the beginning. So now I have this I can use as the start. I can use it as a snapshot. I can use it as a start of the video. So when people will click on the video, it's static like this until it starts and goes through. And because I pulled that out of the center of the video and didn't change that, there's no interruption where it goes back together. No one could ever tell where you pulled it out of. If you don't want it at the beginning of the video, you can put it at the end of the video. So now when it's played, okay, and if I want to have it ease into that last picture, we'll just throw a transition in here. We'll play a little bit more of it so you can see it again here. And of course you can stretch this out to whatever length you want, because it's just an image, it's just a snapshot. Another thing you can do with these snapshots is there is a limited amount of color correction, brightness, tint, and so forth you can do within Filmora. So just to briefly touch upon those, the contrast. You can change the contrast of the picture. The saturation of colors. Or the overall brightness. Change the tint, which will change the entire color. You can also add a LUT. And by doing that, there's a number of presets you can use. You go to the advanced, and here you can start getting a little bit fancier. You can start changing the color temperature, the tint, everything within all of these. This is put in a little bit of shading around the outside. We'll take the feathering out of it so it really stands out as an oval. You can change the size. I like it about right there. And when I click OK, that's what it's done. So now, when this is played, and again, folks, all I'm trying to do is to give you some ideas. I want you to be creative. Let's see where I'm at. We have swords and scabbards, and do we have a what's going on here? And just glancing at Stringfield Ridge Farms comment here. It doesn't matter to me what editor you use. I'm very familiar with Filmora. I think Filmora is an excellent purchase. And when I say purchase, that means you own the rights to the program for life for $60, $59.95. You get all the updates. What you don't get for that $59.95 is you don't get all of the additional enhancements that they make available. I mean, obviously they have to, it's a company, they have to make money. So they have various elements, filters. They have a lot of things come out all the time. Let me just bring those up here. Product page. Okay, so this is their homepage. The program is free to try. Doesn't cost you a dime to try it. However, if you publish without buying the program with their desktop software, it leaves a watermark, and it's very obvious that, okay, I don't own this, but I'm using it, I'm trying it out. Filmora Go is a totally free mobile video editor. Works on iPhones and works on Androids. I don't have the patience for trying to edit a video on a phone, but this is a free product. This is what you don't get. These effect packs. That's what they tried to sell you. It's my take. You don't ever need to buy any of them. They probably don't want me to say that, but they don't write me a paycheck to endorse their product either. But they do offer some free things. And those I always get. If they offer it for free, I figure I paid my money, so I'm going to get them. But I just create my own effects. I add fonts. I add different images. In other words, I create stuff that they don't have. And we've got some people in the chat here. I think Grandma Rose is still in here. They've just done some fantastic, very custom creative work where they've taken a still image and made it into an MP4 movable file. So this is the website. Filmora, and just to make sure they haven't changed something here. Here you go. Lifetime fee is $59.99. Don't make the mistake that that Spicy did. Spicy bought the 1 year thing. He thought, oh, I'm going to save $20 and I'm going to buy the 1 year. Before he knew it, his year was over. And, well, he was no longer getting updates because if you notice what it says right here, it says this is billed annually. Well, who wants to pay $40 every year? If you can pay $60 once, one-time fee, and you get all the features, you get the free upgrades, there's no watermark, you get free tech support, this is the one to buy. Now, there are free editing programs out there. I've had some discussions with some various people. Some of those are pretty good programs. Here's the problem with free. For somebody just to develop a program to edit videos, it takes a lot of doing and a lot of time. And if it does have a problem with the multitude of different hardware platforms people could be using this on, and different types of inputs that, you know, do you use .mov files or MP4 files or some other type of file for the movie that comes in. They're going to resize it to fit the screen properly. They want to blend it together with other pieces. On these share programs or the freeware programs, do they really have the ability to do these things? Filmora is not an end-all editor. It is not the only editor in my toolbox, but it's very good. There's an awful lot of big YouTubers have it. The reviews are outstanding. It's very powerful. And because of that, I've said, hey, that's what it cost me. Actually, it cost me more than that to fill up my gas tank on my truck. That's the way I look at it. The other good thing about the Filmora, this style of editor, you will find in all of the more expensive editing tools. So this is almost a stepping stone. I happen to have on here Power Director. And if you look at the timeline mode on a Power Director, does it look familiar? You have the same timelines going up and down. Things are a little bit different, but geez, they have color boards. They have a few more of them than what Filmora does. They have some different backgrounds, which are simply pictures. You import your media files very similar to what you do with with Filmora. So it's now imported. Drag it out into the timeline. So in other words, in this one also you could do thumbnails with it. I don't know of any editing program that you cannot. Some are a little bit tougher than others, but Filmora is extremely easy. Have news to share about my birthday and the challenge cook-offs. You know, I didn't realize it's after 9 o'clock. I've gotten carried away here. So, I'll tell you what, Country Girl, are you going live? Or what are you doing? Scroll back, see curious question. All right. See if I can pop this out. Okay. I'm looking. All right, in the interest of helping me out here, Carrie asks, when you are done editing a video, what do you do with the original footage? Delete it from Filmora? The question is getting crowded on my editing page. Yes. Here's the way Filmora works. Number one, Filmora does not ever harm your original files. If you save a project, it refers back to those original files in the original locations. So let me do this. I'm going to say new project. No, I don't want to save any changes here. And I'm assuming you're talking about these files, what you see here. And I have a lot of scrap stuff sitting in here from different shows that we've done and different things that I've been working on. But these all refer back to a file location located on the hard drive. If I attempted to keep everything where it was, it just wouldn't work. This computer would be totally trashed. What I have attached to this computer is a backup drive. It's a USB drive. It's a 4 terabyte drive, and this is where I dump all of my old videos and pictures and save pictures and all kinds of crazy things. So this is my storage area. I can unplug that so I can move it from computer to computer. This is a 4 terabyte USB plug-in drive. That's where I store all of my all of my extra stuff. So these are all I'm not sure which this is, what this one is from, but this is one of Sherry's cooking videos or canning videos. Must be canning. But the point is this is where I keep all of my extra items.
And I'll get these in the canner so they will seal. That one.
As far as the program itself, yeah, you can delete these because these are just reference things. If you have saved your project as a name, and well, here, let me do this. Highlight any one of those, do a Control A. That will highlight them all. Press delete. And they're all out of this album. But I'm going to open up a recent project. And one of the recent projects that I have here is the promo I made for WT Farm Girl. Ah, looky here. Some files in your project have been moved or missing. Please select the file from the list below and relocate them one at a time. Well, that was an original downloaded file from WT Farm Girl. When I download other people's videos to create these promos for the live streams, I don't keep them. And that's what it's looking for. I saved it as a project so that if I got interrupted, I could go back to it. So just hit cancel on that. Another recent project is what I call Diamondback. And this is a video that I'm still putting together, but it's the installation of a tonneau cover on my pickup truck. So it still has these files. If you notice, it brought them in. It brought it right back to the point where I had it. These are the original files. Here they are already edited, just not produced into a new format yet. But every place where I've cut things out and added things, those things are all done. So yeah, by all means, you can delete those out of there. Did that get your question? Oh my goodness. Now we're talking about pecan caramel clusters. Country girl, you can send some of those if you like. I'll try them out for you, let you know if they're any good. All right. Gonna let y'all go. It's 20 minutes past my hour. So you guys have wrestled my arm here, but I don't mind. If you got any questions, send me an email. We'll either get back with you via phone, via email, via something, and work on that. We'll try to get you fixed up the best we can. I do want to mention, if you like what we're doing here, and I don't want to, geez, don't make me sound, I'm not an e-beggar, I'm not doing that. But below in the description, you will find various ways you can help support our channel by shopping at Amazon, by buying Thrive Life, by various things that doesn't cost you any more money. But if you do them through us, we get this little tiny kickback. And we certainly appreciate it because it does help to put all this together. So, folks, thanks so much for coming. We will see you all later. Good night.
All right.